So I wanted to start with a number today. 37.6 million is the number. Cruisers that planning to cruise this year. So that's literally 3 million more than last year. So where are they sailing? That's kind of the big question. Hi, I'm Kendall Mead. I'm the owner of Brandt Travel, and thanks for joining us for Coffee with Kendall today. Today we have our spotlight on one of our favorites, Princess Cruises. And we have our expert from Princess joining us this morning, Scott Moon. And Scott is going to share with you some great itineraries that are available for this year and next year, and even into 2027. That's right. All of the cruise lines have now started releasing their itineraries even sooner than before. And that really helps us to plan ahead and make sure we're accomplishing our bucket list. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn over everything to Scott.
Princess Cruises, we definitely have that traditional cruise experience, meaning you're going to have your early or late dining. You're going to have if you've sailed before, hopefully you have, and if not, hopefully you'll enjoy it soon. You'll have the casinos on board, the spa services, the great entertainment, and I feel like Princess has a lot of that. We go over to 300 plus destinations worldwide, so pretty much every place a ship can go, we definitely take you there. We have, I feel like we've always had outstanding service, but we do have something unique to the cruise industry called the medallion. And I'll speak to that briefly, but basically it's how you enter use on your board, you wear it on board and you can enter your cabin that way. You can use it for spending money on board, but also a lot of other cool things too. And then we also have a way for you to certainly not an all-inclusive experience, but make it closer and closer, including your drinks, gratuity, and Wi-Fi with our Princess Plus and our Premier package, which I'll discuss here in a little bit. So with us, we have 16 ships in our fleet as of today. And you can see the capacity there. So our smallest ships have about 2,000 passengers. Our largest ships have 4,300 passengers. So for us, or for at least for me, in my point of view, it's kind of medium size for the cruise industry in general. Our largest ships or newest ships have the most capacity at 4,300 passengers. As I mentioned, we go over 300 plus destinations. So I always joke that I must go through and spend the next 2 or 3 hours and go through each and every one of them, but I guess we don't have that kind of time. So I'm just going to hit the highlights. Being that we're based on the West Coast, we have a lot of our sailings that go up and down the coast, including Alaska, but I'll kind of set that one aside. But also California, the California coastal, which we go from Los Angeles up and down the coast. Short sailing, 6 days or 5 days on the short side, but a little bit longer too. They go into the wine country. A lot of the excursions go there, so they're great for wine groups, for example. We do sell Hawaii round trip from Los Angeles and from San Francisco. And so those generally are about 14 or 15, as long as 16 days, and they are round trip. So a little bit different, lots of days at sea, but you go to the four main Hawaiian islands. Um, you go eat Mexican Riviera is a great itinerary for us, and that's kind of how we started. Fun fact, Princess Cruises created the term Mexican Riviera because that was back in the days of the Love Boat. We were sailing up and down the coast from Los Angeles. But we do some longer sailings from there and from San Francisco. We do Panama Canal sailings from the West Coast too. So we do what we call ocean to ocean sailings. So basically Los Angeles or San Francisco, some cases, but mostly Los Angeles through the canal to either Fort Lauderdale or sometimes we go to New York. We're a little bit longer itinerary, so you go through all the locks, either new or old set of locks. But if you don't have that kind of time, we do sell round trip from Fort Lauderdale. Those are for us are 12-day round trips to Fort Lauderdale, but go through that first set of locks. We have the short season of the Canada New England sailings, but everyone raves about how fun this is, how beautiful it is as far as the itineraries go. And we do those from New York round trip or one-way sailings to Quebec City. And we do round trip Boston, which we've just started this last season, which, it's great to sail in and out of Boston, especially around, well, in the fall season. Some of them go to Greenland from round trip from Boston. And then, of course, I didn't mention the Caribbean, which I'll discuss a little bit later, but we definitely sell the Caribbean round trip Fort Lauderdale, from Port Canaveral, from San Juan, and from Galveston part of the year. Okay. So skipping across the pond, we have some of our newest ships sailing various itineraries both in the Mediterranean, um, from Southampton and the Baltics, as far west coast or west sailing as to Iceland and Greenland. Great itineraries there. My favorite, Mediterranean. Lots of unique itineraries. We do land tours too. Before I forget, and I want to always mention, we'll do land tours like in Ireland and parts of like in Italy, Spain, Greece, various locations where you can do land tours in conjunction with your cruise tour as well, or cruise as well. Then the rest of the world, we sell, again, a lot of great itineraries all over the place. A lot of our longer sailings are in this part of the world, like South America, for example, some 14 and 16-day sailings, a lot of really cool itineraries, but also, again, in my opinion, it's a shame to go that far and not have, if you're ever on my bucket list at least, is Machu Picchu. So I would like to be able to do that, and we add land tours that you can add to onto your cruise tour, or cruise as well, including and then also Antarctica sailings. So we sail round trip Singapore, Southeast Asia. They go as various itineraries there, but also to Japan. Japan is becoming a very unique itinerary for us in that there's two ships there. They were built in Japan, so they have a lot of itineraries that are built around a lot of the festivals in Japan. So you get to experience, have be on board, but also go inland and attend the festivals or have cruise ports of call that you can attend to some of these festivals and enjoy that as well as getting back on board and having that experience with the cruise that cruise offers. A lot of really cool itineraries from in the South Pacific that leave from Los Angeles round trip or go one way, that either end in Hawaii, for example, or can end in Australia, New Zealand, where we have that season during our winter season, their summer season. Various itineraries. Some circumnavigate the entire continent. Others just go those shorter sailings from Sydney to New Zealand. And again, land tours offered in Australia to see Uluru, which is in the center of the country, or used to be, or is Ayers Rock, also Great Barrier Reef. So we don't want you to miss anything. So it's great to be able to have those options. And also, we do world cruises every year. We have a unique one this year, but usually they start or end either in Sydney or in North America, Los Angeles or Fort Lauderdale, and they can be as long as 130 plus days. But Alaska is kind of our thing. We've of our 17, or actually 16 ships today, we have eight of them in the Alaska itinerary, sailing right now to Alaska, doing various itineraries. So it tells you how important it is for us. It's a very short season, mid-May to mid-September, and lots of really cool things. We're very lucky to be nominated as the best cruise line in Alaska by numerous magazines and articles, but also most importantly for me at least by the travel advisor community. So that's always a really great honor for us. People go to Alaska, and I'm not seeing hands. I always like to interact with everybody. But if you've been to Alaska, fantastic. It's such a beautiful place. As you know, but if you haven't been, it's great for first-time cruisers. There's lots of 7-day itineraries that are round trip, but also you can also do some great things inland in Alaska as well. People go to Alaska for glaciers. They want to see glaciers or the beautiful views, beautiful mountains, great scenery, of course. Hopefully, see the wildlife. And with us, you're going to always go to Denali National Park if you do the inland tour or the cruise tour. You're going to see Glacier Bay National Park on almost all of our sailings, even of our Inside Passage round trip sailings. If you do inland, you're going to take the train into Denali National Park. And so with us, the point being, you're going to see you'll see everything you want to see in Alaska, and probably the best way to do it. Um, Again, round trip sailings from Seattle, from San Francisco, and sometimes from Los Angeles or Vancouver. But we would call the inside passage sailings. So those are always round trip. And probably the ones from Seattle the most popular because people, especially with new cruisers, because they're not sure if what they're going to experience, what the experience is going to be like, and that's the one of the better ways to see it. Most of our sailings, not all, but go to Glacier Bay National Park, which I'm always going to recommend, and you'll hear that throughout this presentation. We also do the one-way sailings. So those are the Voyage of the Glacier sailings, what we call them. And they go from Vancouver to Whittier, which is just south of Anchorage, or vice versa, Whittier to Vancouver. And why we call them Voyage of the Glaciers, you're always going to see Glacier Bay National Park and either Hubbard Glacier or College Fjord. So you're going to get your fill of seeing glaciers for sure if you take this particular sailing. And this is where we hope you add the cruise tour portion onto where you can do the land either pre or post. And we offer lots of probably 25 to 30 different itineraries depending upon the season. And we have some great opportunities for you to talk about at the very end. Okay, so basically that's where I'm kind of referring to already. You're going to see Glacier Bay National Park on these one-way sailings. This is what a cruise tour is. The cruise itself. Oh, then you're going to, sorry, I jumped ahead. I apologize. I'm getting little happy fingers. So you're going to go, well, the idea there is you're going to go 500 miles further north or south, basically seeing more of the beautiful views, hopefully more of wildlife opportunities, that sort of thing. When you go to the interior of Alaska, you're going to always take our train. So the train portion is glass dome. It's going to include a commentary or somebody escorting the cruise itself up from Whittier to the interior. And the idea is there to get you to Denali National Park sooner, where you stay at one of our beautiful lodges. So we own 5 lodges in Alaska. Again, you're going to stay with us the entire time. You're going to and we have and you're gonna we split your stay too. So you're gonna stay with in our lodges. You're going to stay at least 2, if not more, depending upon the itinerary. And we have 2 right outside Denali National Park. The idea there is to see more wildlife and the opportunity to see the mountain, hopefully. And some of our longer itineraries are for Copper River and Kenai Peninsula. We have a lot of tours that take you there, and a lot of them start or end in Fairbanks or Anchorage, depending upon the tour. When you're in the lodges themselves and you're doing the land portion, you can I think of them kind of like as it's like a ship, basically, in the sense that you can just stay and enjoy the lodge themselves. There's great restaurants there. There's nature walks, beautiful, opportunities to see wildlife. And so you can do that, or you can take an excursion from these lodges too. So they're at or near close to airports. So you can do flight excursions, river rafting, fishing, all kinds of good stuff that you can do. So, and all the lodges are right near or close to beautiful rivers, great scenic views. And so it's a great opportunity to just enjoy Alaska and the land and the beautiful opportunities to see the excursions there. We also offer, as I mentioned, the round trip Seattle sailings, which most of them take you to Glacier Bay National Park. Those are always 7 days. We have some 7 day and or longer sailings from Vancouver if you want more different itineraries. And what I always point out is that some of them, all of our cruises, or take you to Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway for the most part, but some of them, especially from Vancouver, will take you to a different port like Haines or Icy Strait Point. If you're leaving from San Francisco, you're going to a different place as well, going to a few different ports as well, Prince Rupert, for example. Okay, but on board, the experience is also very Alaska based and themed. We have, of course, the cuisine is definitely going to be focused on Alaska, meaning that you're going every restaurant we have in the main dining room, for example, are going to have a lot of the Alaska cuisine as well as lots of other opportunities. So it's not exclusive to that. You're going to have great excursions. The national park rangers come on board in Glacier Bay if your itinerary goes there, and where they will serve as your tour guide. They board the ship. They really kind of talk about the park in general, the history of it, the wildlife, just kind of talking about just it makes it kind of a more authentic experience as they walk the decks and just kind of acting, like I said, giving you guidance while on board. It's also really fun to watch them board the ship too. That's kind of a unique experience as the pilot boat pulls up beside and they jump off the boat onto the ship without the boat doesn't even seem to slow down. It's very fun experience. Also, we're not giving you puppies. I always tell people we're giving them puppies, but I wish we could. But we do things like a lot of animal and local related things, meaning in Skagway, you may get off the ship and do great excursions on board or on shore. But once you get on board, we have something called Puppies in the Piazza. So all of our ships have these piazza areas where a lot of that hub of activity goes on. Lots of things are going on all the time. And we'll bring in Skagway, bring the puppies on, sled dog puppies, and let everybody interact with them, letting the puppies get used to dealing with different people. The puppies are actually being raised to hopefully run in the Iditarod someday. That's the idea. And so it's just always kind of a fun experience. In Juneau, we bring Libby Riddles on board. Libby Riddles is the first female winner of the Iditarod. She won in the mid 80s, but has since become kind of a spokesperson and advocate for for Alaska tourism, for Princess in general, and we partnered with her for a very long time. And she brings her dogs on board in Juneau too, but just kind of walks the decks, kind of a very casual experience. So as people get up and come back from their excursions for that day, or just kind of just enjoying the ship itself, she'll just be there answering questions, doing impromptu little presentations, or just talking about her experience in Iditarod. So it's always like very fun for everybody to and really gets them into the Alaska experience. But on board, it's the same thing. So all the excursions or the entertainment on board are definitely more themed. Alaska, whether it be just in the Piazza area where they're doing folk singers or the excursions that will bring, you see the bottom right there, the deadliest catch. That was as a theme in Ketchikan. We have excursions focused on that. So it's just a great overall experience overall. If you're a lot of excursions include fishing, not all of them, of course, but if you they do, if you catch something, you can bring the catch back on board, and the chef will prepare it for you, so you can share it with your table mates at no additional cost. So that's something we brought back, and very proud of that overall experience. Another thing we do is in all of the restaurants, we partner with regional restaurants in Alaska and bring their recipes on board. So in the main dining room, you may have a local Anchorage favorite or Juneau favorite restaurant that will have you. They let share their recipes with us and allow everybody to experience that and have more of an authentic experience. And then one of my favorites is partnering with some of the breweries and distilleries in Alaska. So again, Alaska Brewing Company, we're definitely going to have that as an option on board, as well as others where we have beer flights or beer tastings. But just like we do wine tastings and all that good stuff too. And again, I always like to mention too that we do the distilleries, we partner with that, their local flavor. You can't see this, I wish you could, but in the bottom, my bottom left, hope maybe your bottom right, the bottom, it says smoked salmon flavored vodka. Gross, but I'm sure it's great mixed with everything else. So you definitely have that experience. If you do travel with the little ones, we have great kids programs on all of our sailings, all of our ships, definitely in Alaska and some of our shorter sailings in Caribbean. In Alaska, you'd have great kids programs from age 3 to 17. And in Alaska, they become junior rangers, have that opportunity to become junior ranger programs. At least the little ones do. Also, the excursions are very family friendly, very family focused. We partner with Discovery Channel and Animal Planet in that they create these programs for us, whether it be the kids program or the excursions. So they give us their stamp of approval, and they've created these really unique events or excursions for us. Okay, so Across the pond, just a few other itineraries I want to mention. So in Europe, we have tons of different opportunities to sail both northern Europe from Southampton or from the Mediterranean, from various ports of call. Um, and this is where we have some of our newest ships as well. So I always want to bring that up. The Mediterranean, we've done this for 40 plus years. And a lot of great itineraries there. Too many to mention. I always bring up that we do have shorter sailings, so you can do a sailing from 7 days. Um, but it's a shame to do that just because it's so far to travel to. But you can add a 7 day and a 7 day onto that, so it could be a 14 day or a 21 day sailing. And you can actually leave from Barcelona, end up in Barcelona or Rome or Athens round trip, do a 21 day sailing or as long as, and never repeat. And again, the Sun Princess is our newest ship. So we have the newest ships in that part of the world. This year, this was become very popular. It was very popular last year, and so we brought it back as we have a solar eclipse cruises. These are on a Sun Princess, and again, kind of built around that same itinerary idea, in that you do a 7 day, but you can make it a lot longer if you want to. But even on the 7 day sailing, Barcelona to Rome, you'll be able to experience the solar eclipse being in the middle. You see there on the map there, in the middle of the Mediterranean. So that's got to be just an amazing experience. But also includes Florence or Pisa, Rome, and Barcelona. And again, you can again, I mentioned the 7 day sailings or longer, so you can make it a longer itinerary as well, make it a 14 day or a 21 day. Up in the northern part, going to the Baltics or Norway, for example, or as far west as Iceland and Greenland. We have sailings from Southampton. We do from some round trip Copenhagen and occasionally from Le Havre, which is basically Normandy area. But for the most part, they're from Southampton. And tons of different itineraries. Again, too many to mention all of them, but just a couple that come to mind. And I want to point out a couple of things. First of all, these are always, and Europe in general is very port intensive. So there's not a lot of days at sea. You're going to spend a lot of time in port, which is, I personally love. It's fantastic to wake up in a different place every day or close to it. Also, we do something called a more shore program, in that a lot of our itineraries stay a little bit later in port in some locations. For example, in this particular itinerary, this 10-day British Isles, it stays later in Belfast, for example. And that way you can do it a later night excursion or later in the evening excursion, or in some cases, depending on the itinerary, maybe experience some of the nightlife of the location you're reported in. Just a few others. And also kind of very port intensive. This is a 12-day British Isles from Southampton that includes Le Havre. We go into France to experience Normandy or possibly Paris. But again, it goes to so many great destinations and within Europe in general, a lot of great itineraries, or around the British Isles, like Edinburgh or in Dublin, for example. And also, we have some Oktoberfest sailings. Again, these are all built around great, different experiences, different festivals going on in the world. So you can experience Oktoberfest on board the ship, going to Hamburg, Copenhagen, and Amsterdam, Brussels, for example. These are, again, very port intensive, and lots of different places to see as far as European capitals or Baltics. Also, we offer land tours up there too. Just briefly mention things, not quite as we don't own the hotels, obviously, or the transportation like we do in Alaska. But we do have, we can set it up for you where you can have a brief land tour in Ireland, for example. This is the Ring of Kerry cruise tour, which then will take you transportation wise, get you to the ship in Southampton prior to sailing some of our itineraries. I mentioned earlier we do world cruises, and that is true. We still do world cruises, but in the past few years, we've had to change itineraries here and there for various things that are happening in the world. So what we've done is this particular year in 2026, we have a Circle Pacific tour that as long as 131 days, but it goes from a round trip Los Angeles or San Francisco that would include Australia, New Zealand, Hawaii, and the South Pacific, Asia, and Japan, Alaska, Pacific Coastal. So it includes some of our favorite itineraries on the West Coast, but also takes you all the way as far as Australia, New Zealand. And you can do it there will be itineraries that are shorter than this, obviously, that you can do as segments. But if you are lucky enough to be able to stay on the ship the entire time, it can be as long as 131 days. And you see the itinerary there. Sorry, it's kind of really hard to read, but basically leaving from Los Angeles and round trip as long as 131 days if you go all the way through the Panama Canal. Closer to home, though, we have some great itineraries. I'm in the North Texas area. I'm not sure where everybody's located, but we have sailings from Galveston that are seasonal. They're basically November through March. But we have itineraries from if you're interested in the Caribbean from Port Canaveral. Those are new, and they go. Some of them go to Panama Canal, but some go us into south to the Southern Caribbean round trip from Port Canaveral. We have year-round sailings from Fort Lauderdale, and we're starting from San Juan. We have some new itineraries that leave from San Juan that's not listed here, but just to let you know that we are starting that in October. Those are 7 day or 14 day. But from Galveston, because I am here, I just always like to bring that we do sail starting first part of November through mid-March. We'll sail from Galveston, the itineraries are Western Caribbean, which include Costa Maya or Belize City, Roatan, and Cozumel. And that's on the Regal Princess, who of which the godparents are the cast members of the Love Boat. And I mention that because we have a great group on board, which I'll bring up here in a sec. Okay, so this is our brand new ship. I'm just kidding. It's really not, but I just like to show the contrast between this ship, the first ship we've ever did, the Princess Patricia, which is now the newest ship, the Sun Princess. Sun Princess is 4,300 passengers, our largest ship to date. Tons of bars and restaurants and balcony choices in different categories that are so unique for us, at least, that are different from how we guess we first started. I mentioned we have piazza areas on board our ships, and that's true. They look similar to this, although this would be our largest because of the largest ship. But this is where the captain makes his or her announcements. The champagne toasts happen here. There's entertainment going on. There's something going on here all day and all night. So this is the hub of activity on board the ship. Um, there's other unique or entertainment venues like the Dome, for example, on this particular ship. This is unique exclusively to the Sun Princess and her sister ship. This is an entertainment area on board. There's late night entertainment, but also activities offered during the day and the evening, just a relaxed, temperature controlled area. Also unique to this particular ship, the Sun Princess, is our opportunity to experience the Sanctuary Club. This is again, there's certain categories that you can purchase that are just exclusive to this, where you don't have to leave this part of the ship if you don't want to, including because you have your dining room, your entertainment options here. You have access to the sanctuary, which is kind of a relaxing area on board the ship, but you will be able to, of course, enjoy all the different bars and restaurants on board the ship as well. This is just kind of an exclusive area on board. The Sun Princess will be in the Mediterranean, and she's there right now doing various itineraries. She'll eventually sail back over and do the Caribbean sailings from Fort Lauderdale. Her sister ship, the Star Princess, though, comes out in October, and she's being built over there. So she'll do a very brief European, late season European itineraries, just three of those, before sailing over to Fort Lauderdale and wintering in Fort Lauderdale, as we all should, but then eventually sail over to Alaska and being sailing from Alaska from Seattle in 2026. So that's be our largest ship we've ever had. Okay, switching gears a little bit. There are dining options on board where we have the very traditional early or late seating. We still do that. There's also you have options for in the main dining room areas at least for flexible dining, meaning you can pick and choose your specific time and make reservations at the same time every night if you want to. Or you just, if you don't want to be at, you can be more casual and you want to go when you go in the main dining room areas, you'll be able to go anytime dining. And these are all separate dining rooms, so you'll be able to set that up prior to leaving before you go, so you'll know where you're going to eat and what time you eat every time. I talked briefly about the Princess Plus or Premier packages. This is our drinks, gratuity, and Wi-Fi packages, but I always like to bring this up because I feel like these are the best value pretty much anywhere you cruise, in my personal opinion. So basically, just stepping back for a second, there's three different price categories or structures within Princess. I mean, you can do Princess Standard, which is a la carte. You can do Princess Plus or Princess Premier. Princess Plus is $60 per person per day above the standard price. And what this would include is your drinks, alcohol drinks, or you're limited to just 15 drinks of alcohol per day. So hope that's enough. Fingers crossed. But you will be able to have 15 drinks per day, but it's all inclusive of bottled waters, coffees, teas, milkshakes, trying to think of other things. Mocktails, just about anything else is all inclusive. So again, anything you drink other than the 15 drinks, there's no limit. You also get your Wi-Fi, one single Wi-Fi device, so you'll be able to access internet, call home, all that good stuff from that, and your gratuities will be included. You also get casual dining. You'll get two casual dining restaurant choices on board, or be able to access those on board. That would be a Fredo's, for example, or Pizza Place, Calzone Place, or uh, Ocean Terrace, which is sushi. There's a few, depending on the ship, there's a few others options as well. But those, you get two of those per person included, plus of various other things, fitness classes, premium desserts, all that good stuff, room service. So that would be what you would get for your at Princess Plus, which I feel is a great value overall. Just so you know, Wi-Fi and gratuities, those two separate things alone equal approximately, if you purchase those separately, $40 per person. So that alone, you can see the $20 extra per day includes all those other things that I mentioned. But if you don't want to be limited and you want to have maybe a little bit extra, you could have the Princess Premier package. And this is $90 per person per day above that additional cost. And that would include unlimited alcohol plus everything else I mentioned. It includes four Wi-Fi devices and gratuities. Now you have unlimited casual dining and unlimited fitness classes, juice bars, room service, unlimited specialty dining. So I didn't really mention this earlier, but on board our ships, we have various restaurants that are included in the price. Some are casual dining, which is slightly above the per person, and then specialty dining, which are reservations recommended and are meant for special occasions. I mean, it could be our Crown Grill, our steakhouse, our Sabatini's, which is our Northern Italian cuisine. Depending on the ship, there could be many, many more options. And now with this particular package, there's no limit to them. So you can technically eat there every night as long as you make reservations and go. You can eat in the special restaurants every night. Plus, you get a few other things like a photo package, reserved seating in a theater. Just it's a really great value overall. We try to include as much stuff as possible with the Premier package. I briefly mentioned this before, but medallion, it says Princess Medallion class, but everybody who sails with us gets a medallion. And this medallion, if you sailed before, you've gotten a cruise card. If you go to a hotel, you get a hotel key to open your hotel door. So this is what happens with us. You get a wearable that you're sent to your house prior to sailing, or you can pick it up at the pier itself or the port itself. And as long as you wear it on, it opens your cabin door. You use it to buy things on board, but a heck of a lot more included, including you'll be able to board the ship faster if you do a few things, have it shipped to you. If you get on board the ship sooner, you'll have things delivered to you based on, excuse me, based on. Not what I want to do. So you'll be able to board the ship sooner. You'll be able to purchase things on board. You'll be able to be poolside and order drinks, or be on your balcony and order, food up before you go to dinner, which makes sense. Or whatever you'll be able to use. If you're things like suntan lotion and towels you want to brought to you. If you're poolside, you can do that to you, have that sent to you, just as examples. You'll be able to customize your vacation. So using your either your app on your phone or the TV screen in your room, the touchscreen TV, you'll be able to customize and be able to pick the things you want to do every day, so you don't miss anything. So you'll be able to make your vacation a little bit more seamless. You'll be able to locate your travel partners on board, for example. I think this is probably the coolest thing in that if you're traveling with friends and family members, you can set it up to where you can locate them where they are on the ship. So you don't have to go searching for everybody. You can actually communicate with them back and forth as well. But I feel like this is, these ships it takes a little bit of time to, at least for me, to figure out where everything else is and where, to figure out the lay of the land. But you will locate your kids, your group mates, whatever, whoever you're traveling with, you'll be able to find them. And then finally, we offer other ways to earn things on board or onboard credits. So there's lots of different ways to do this, but I'm just going to mention two of them. If you have served in the military with us, we have a military onboard credit program. So you'll be able to earn onboard credits up to $250 based on the length of the sailing. And if you haven't served in the military, but you are Carnival stockholders, we are owned by the Carnival Corporation. And if you happen to be Carnival stockholders, there's a form to fill out, and you can actually have onboard credit based on owning certain number of stock, basically. But again, what I like to mention, these are pretty much combinable. The only things that are not combinable with these two are with each other, the Carnival stockholder and the military program, but they are combinable with pretty much everything else we do. A couple other things to mention. So I want to make sure that I don't forget. Oh, correct. See. So we have some groups with Brandt Travel and Kendall. Feel free to mention anything you want to about this, but definitely want to bring these up because we set through Brandt Travel, we set these great groups up for you guys to hopefully take experience, including a celebration at sea, which is the Love Boat sailing, which is November 16th of this year. And you see the prices there, but the cool thing about this one is you'll be able to sail with a crew of the Love Boat. And then it's the Western Caribbean from Galveston round trip. So this is a great opportunity. I wish I could be on this particular sailing. I tried to get this set up. I couldn't do it. But there's still plenty of space available. If you want to sail over New Year's out of Galveston, if you're in this part of the world, this is a great opportunity to do so, and great opportunity to do the Western Caribbean from Galveston with Brandt Travel. Also, we have some unique sailings. I've not been to this part of the world. I would love to go to Norway and Iceland, but this would be a great option to sail with Brandt from this for next year, for 2026, June 27th. And what I'm told is the itineraries in Iceland are just unbelievable to experience sailing the Norwegian fjords. So I would highly recommend this one. This is one, again, I would love to do. And then finally, Alaska. And they sailing Alaska for us. Hopefully, I talked enough about it. At least you get to understand what we do and where we take you. But it's being escorted by your partners at Brandt Travel. I feel like that's such a great value. And yet they have set up group space for you to be able to book into and sail with friends and family from there too. So.
And just to chime in on that, Scott, all of our group rates and those itineraries you just shared, our pricing is inclusive of the Princess Plus package that you spoke about. And so if you decided, oh, that's a really great rate, I love the Plus package, that's something unique, I get to have more included, it would be a quick upgrade if you decided you wanted unlimited specialty dining or an increased beverage package. So just keep that in mind that our rate does include the Princess Plus.
Good point. Thank you. So with that, are there any questions that I can help out with?
Yeah, if you do have a question, feel free to unmute yourself and you can ask, or you can put it in the chat feature. Okay, well, we of course have access to Scott all the time, and he is a great partner, as is Princess. A couple things I just wanted to share with you. Um, and I was going to try to get the screen back.
Oh,
Um,
go ahead.
a few things I wanted to share. We've had several guests that recently took their family members on a multi-generational trip to Alaska and had a fantastic time. They several groups that have done the land piece with Denali and then also the cruise, and just said that it was so great for everyone. There was really something for everyone. Family members with the kids would go and do certain excursions. Sometimes the grandparents would go, sometimes they needed a break, so they wouldn't, but everyone would meet up in the evening for dinner, and they just thoroughly enjoyed that. So if you do have a special occasion coming up, maybe a special anniversary or a graduation, Alaska, I think for adding multiple members of the family, I think it's a great option. Um, and then just to piggyback on Scott's statements, their itineraries are fantastic. We have had a lot of guests thoroughly enjoy Princess. Um, they are Princess loyal, and newcomers have become new fans. Their dining is exceptional, the entertainment is great, and the itineraries continue to be amazing. So we do highly recommend Princess, and look forward to you considering them as well. If you go to the Brandt Travel website, which is brandt-travel.com, you can access Princess's online brochure and take a peek at the wide variety of itineraries. Also, feel free to reach out to our team. We'd be glad to share some of the itineraries that we are featuring and share additional options with you as well. So, without that, I will bid you adieu. Hope everyone has a fantastic summer and that we can help assist you in the future. Thanks again, Scott. We appreciate you. And bye for now, everyone.
Thanks for having me. Bye bye, everybody.